Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Takira and I'm a dietitian that helps women to heal from recurring vaginal infections and also just chronic women's health conditions in general. So if you are into those topics, make sure that you are subscribed down below and like this video and comment any questions, comments, concerns, or requests for videos that you may have, because if it's in alignment with what I'm doing at the moment, I will make a video for you. So this video is going to be on PCOS because I do have personal experience with PCOS, and I've also seen women on threads constantly talking about PCOS, asking for tips, supplements, how to heal, where to start. And I've actually seen a post from a woman who literally healed, like she reversed her PCOS and posted her ultrasound results on threads. So I find that to be really, really powerful because the body is capable of healing. I'm a very unconventional dietitian, so I do believe that nothing is incurable. I believe that women just need the right solutions and the right protocol to heal their bodies, but it's a matter of just working with the right person. And I truly believe that the body is so powerful that it can heal itself naturally without medications, without these expensive treatments, without so much, like, what's the word, so much struggle behind it. I think it's just a matter of alignment and also the right support for your body. So I reversed my PCOS symptoms. Before, I had high testosterone. My A1C was 5.7. I had insulin resistance, so I was storing I was storing fat in my stomach area, and I also had a really, really bad cystic acne that would always constantly bleed on my face. Now I'm dealing with lymphatic acne, so this is more so acne from my lymphatic system not being as working as efficiently as it should. So I'm working on healing my acne because it's not PCOS related, because my testosterone levels are back with the normal limits. My A1C is out of the pre-diabetic range. I lost 25 pounds in 5 months, so I no longer store fat in my stomach area. I never really dealt with hirsutism, which is when you grow excessive hair. I do have some chin hairs, but it's nothing like crazy. It's just like in this one area here. But otherwise, I pretty much reversed all my PCOS symptoms. And so this video is going to be about how to heal your PCOS without birth control, without medications, and also medication alternatives as well. So what PCOS actually is, it's a hormonal metabolic inflammatory condition. Some dietitians refer to it as the diabetes of the ovaries, because that's basically how it acts. So it's not just about cysts, because many women with PCOS don't even have cysts. Me, I've never had a cyst in my ovary. I only had the string of pearls appearance, which is one on the ultrasound. It shows that you have like these holes in your ovaries. They're like these undeveloped egg follicles. That's what's called the string of pearls, and that can determine that you have PCOS if you have other criteria such as the high testosterone, the A1C being out of whack, other labs that I'll go over later in the video. And also acne can be another really big sign of PCOS. And PCOS is diagnosed by the Rotterdam criteria, so you need to have 2 of 3 things, and an irregular or absent ovulation, clinical signs of high androgen, so acne, hair growth, or high labs, and polycystic ovaries on the ultrasound. So for me, I had the high androgens of the acne. I never ever had excessive hair growth ever in my life. And also the high labs, so I had the high testosterone, and I had the polycystic ovarian appearance on my ultrasound. And then I also I was holding on to a lot of weight, and I looked really inflamed and puffy all the time. So there are 4 types of PCOS that most practitioners categorize it as. So that's insulin resistance PCOS. So that's when you have insulin resistance, which means that your body is not using insulin properly. Insulin is a hormone that's released from the pancreas, and its job is to lower your blood sugar whenever you eat. And so when you have insulin resistance, your body is resistant to insulin, meaning that it's not working, it's not listening to insulin. So you're eating and your blood sugar is getting high, but insulin is not lowering it. So then you have chronically high blood sugar, and chronically high blood sugar leads to chronically high cortisol, and this leads to the cortisol belly, insulin resistance, diabetes, etc., etc. So insulin resistance PCOS, adrenal/stress-driven PCOS. So for me, I believe 100% that my PCOS was caused by birth control and caused by stress. And so because at this time when I was diagnosed with PCOS, I was in the middle of my master's program that was combined with my dietetic internship. So it was literally an accelerated 1-year master's program on top of my dietetic internship, which is like our 1,200-hour residency that we have to do. And that was the most stressful time of my whole entire life. And I was eating like a fucking maniac. I was constantly ordering out food because I had no energy to do anything. I also was drinking a lot because of how stressed I was, and I was smoking a lot, which was causing me to also eat more. And I was also on birth control on and off. And so birth control can actually already increase your risk for PCOS. And then stress can also trigger the PCOS itself. So there was like there was something, this PCOS dietitian posted a while ago. Her name is PCOS Weight Loss. She's actually not pregnant with PCOS. So I would definitely follow her if you want to get pregnant. But she posted how birth control can actually literally cause PCOS. I forgot what the science was behind it. I should have looked it up before this video. But basically for me, I know birth control causes PCOS because that doesn't even run in my family at all. Literally at all. And like when I got diagnosed, I was actually shocked because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like that doesn't run in my family. I get regular periods. I ovulate regularly, and I still got diagnosed. So I believe it was a combination of the birth control and also me being really, really stressed. 3, post-pill PCOS. So some women literally do experience getting PCOS after being on birth control. This is why I do not believe in using birth control at all. At the time, I just wanted an easy way out of my symptoms because I didn't have the time or energy to actually heal my body because I was in school and I was stressed and all those things. So there is post-pill PCOS. There's also inflammatory PCOS, a PCOS that's driven by inflammation. So most women have a combination of these. And it's also, I believe there's a PCOS that's related to your thyroid. I'm not too sure about that actually, but these are all different ways in which PCOS can happen or be driven by, for example, or I guess, yeah, just different ways of PCOS, but they can all be mix and match. So the real root causes of PCOS, number 1, insulin resistance, 2, high stress, which leads to high cortisol, which leads to high androgens. So I think that's what it was actually, because I was so stressed out during my internship in my master's program, and I was drinking a lot and I was smoking. The high stress led to high androgens, and then it was something with the birth control or how it interacted with that, and I don't know, it was a whole thing. I don't remember, but yeah, inflammation, of course, gut imbalance. So if you are not eating the proper foods for your gut, a lot of ultra processed foods, a lot of fast food, a lot of alcohol, just a lot of things that are not good for your body that you know is not good for your body. Improper sleep, because sleep is when your body is healing. So the less sleep you're getting, the less your body's able to heal. Micronutrient deficiencies like magnesium, D3, omega-3s, inositol, these can all cause PCOS. And environmental hormone disruptors. So this looks like PFAS on like those non-stick pans, xenoestrogens that are on those fast fashion clothing like Shein and Temu, those polyester, the elastane, those fake man-made chemical fabrics that carry those hormones on them. Also your kitchenware, the fragrances that you use, so like perfume on your body, or also the what's it called? The plugins that you put into the wall to make the air smell good, air fresheners. All these things can disrupt your hormones, as they're called endocrine disruptors. And so those are something to be very keeping in mind. Or like scented laundry detergents, things like that. So the more natural you are, the more crunchy you are, is the terminology, the more of an almond person you are, then it is better because you're decreasing your exposure to those chemicals that are found in those everyday products. So number 1, when it comes to healing basically any condition, you want to focus on the 4 pillars of health: nutrition, sleep, exercise, and stress. So we're going to start off with talking about nutrition for PCOS. So for PCOS, I tell everyone, and I give the same advice, honestly, for everybody when it comes to healing your body. Focus on having the 3 macros in all of your meals: protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. When it comes to protein, aim to have around 30 to 40 grams per meal. Food affects your insulin levels. It affects your inflammation, your ovulation, your hormones, your energy, your fertility, and your skin. So protein keeps you fuller longer on less calories. So eating high protein helps with weight loss. It also helps with stabilizing your blood sugar because protein is slow digesting, meaning that it digests slowly in the body, so it doesn't give you those really big blood sugar spikes that drives insulin resistance. So having protein with all of your meals, all of your snacks, even in your smoothies is really important, so that you're not having what's called naked carbs, which are carbs by themselves. You have to pair your carbohydrates with fiber, or choose a fibrous carbohydrate, and you have to have these with protein and with healthy fats. But protein stabilizes your blood sugar, supports your mental health, your gut health, keeps you fuller longer on less calories, and also curbs your sugar cravings. It also supports hormone production and keeps your cortisol stable because it's keeping your blood sugar stable. So aiming for 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal. You have animal protein, you have plant protein. Animal protein is going to come from poultry, meat, seafood, plant-based, soy products, tofu, legumes, grains, nuts and seeds, nut butters, things like that. So the more you have protein, like within each meal, the better. But 30 to 40 per meal is usually ideal. My meals, I usually have around like literally 30 to 40. Like for one of my main breakfast meals, I get the Trader Joe's smoked salmon in the can because it has a lot of healthy fats. That's 21 grams of protein. I use 2 pasture-raised eggs. I use pasture-raised for the retinol that's in those eggs for my skin health. That is 12 grams of protein, so 21 plus 12, 33. And then I also have 2 pieces of sourdough toast. Each slice has 4 grams of protein, so that's 8, 33 plus 8 is 41, and from that point on, obviously, you know. And then I usually also would use some arugula or some kale that may have like 1 to 2 grams of protein. Doesn't matter, but still, the more protein, especially at breakfast, the better. Also, eating within the first hour waking up, because your cortisol levels are the highest in the morning. So when you go for a long period of time without eating, this can actually spike your cortisol even more and cause that further blood sugar instability, and then cause that midday fatigue, that midday slump, and also lead to more insulin resistance and that cortisol belly. So eating within the first hour waking up, and also avoiding caffeine on an empty stomach is going to be really important for you. So avoiding matcha on an empty stomach, and coffee and any energy drinks, because caffeine spikes your cortisol significantly, especially when you are on an empty stomach, because your cortisol is already high in the morning. So if you're using an energy drink such as that's caffeinated, that's going to spike your cortisol even more and lead to more blood sugar instability, and that cortisol belly, etc., etc. So one myth that needs to be eradicated when it comes to PCOS is being low carb or keto. This is not healthy for PCOS because carbohydrates are the #1 fuel source for our brain. How a car needs gas, our brain needs carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are broken down into glucose, and that's the brain's primary fuel source is glucose. So with carbohydrates, we also need them for muscle retention, muscle growth. We need carbohydrates to help us go to the bathroom. We need it for energy. We also need it for blood sugar stability as well. When it comes to carbohydrates, it's a matter of choosing fibrous carbs or pairing carbs with fiber and not eating low carb. So fibrous carbs, fiber is slow digesting, so it slows down the rate at which carbs spike your blood sugar. Fiber also directly binds the cholesterol in your body and excretes it through your waste, so it helps to lower high cholesterol. Fiber also keeps you fuller longer on less calories. Fiber helps to produce what's called short-chain fatty acids that helps to fight inflammation in your gut and supports weight loss. Fiber also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Fiber helps you to go to the bathroom. The more you go to the bathroom on a regular basis, the healthier your hormones, your skin, your gut health, because you're constantly removing waste from your body. And fiber naturally comes from carbohydrates. So we need carbohydrates to function properly for energy and for all of those things I just mentioned. So when it comes to PCOS, we need slow digesting carbohydrates, not low carb, not keto. This looks like you prioritizing complex carbs that have fiber, nuts and seeds, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and I always forget the 5th one. Nuts and seeds, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and legumes. So beans, chickpeas, lentils, kidney beans, all those things. those are the fibrous carbohydrates that you want to prioritize. If you want to use rice, I recommend mixing your rice with quinoa for extra protein and fiber, whether that's white rice or brown rice. Choosing a fibrous bread, so a bread that has fiber in it. Some good brands, 647 bread, Dave's Killer bread, a multigrain sourdough. These are all bread that typically will have some fiber in them. Sourdough can be better for most women who can't tolerate gluten as much. So keep that in mind. When it comes to pasta, looking for a multigrain pasta or a veggie pasta that has fiber in it so that it can slow down the rate at which the carbs are spiked. Potatoes, eating potatoes with the skin on it for extra fiber. Sweet potatoes, even better. But you can eat these things. It's a matter of eating it the correct way by, if any fruit or vegetable has the skin on it, eat it if it's edible, because that's going to help with adding extra fiber. And also looking for carbs with fiber. That's the most important thing. Quinoa, berries, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, oats, all these things you're allowed to eat, but it needs to be in moderation. Carbs should be the smallest portion on your plate. So it should look like protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates. And I'm going to give you a blood sugar hack that has helped a lot of my clients with stabilizing their blood sugar after I go over the other macronutrients. 3, you have healthy fats. Healthy fat supports your hormone production, supports healthy skin, hair, and nails. It supports your heart health. It reduces inflammation in your body. So healthy fats are extremely important for women for their hormone health. It supports ovulation. So healthy fats come from nuts, seeds, avocado oil, olive oil, grass-fed butter like that Kerrygold Irish butter, pasture-raised eggs, fatty fish. These are all sources of healthy fats, avocados as well. So the more you eat of these in your diet, the better. Fats are the most calorically dense macronutrient. So if you want to gain weight, you have to prioritize eating healthy fats. Otherwise, if you don't want to gain too much weight, just having 1 to 2 servings of a small portion of healthy fats at each meal is good enough to get your healthy fat intake in. But otherwise, if you are someone who wants to gain weight, it looks like eating a lot of avocados, making smoothies with avocados and nut butters and seeds and nuts and all those things, and consuming a lot of those high healthy fat foods. So healthy fats are extremely important for me. In the morning, I have avocado every single morning in my breakfast. I also have pesto that's olive oil based with my breakfast every single morning. I also cook my eggs and everything in either grass-fed butter for retinol, or I cook it in avocado oil, healthy fats. And I also sometimes will use chimichurri that's olive oil based as well. In my dinner meals or lunch meals, I always use avocado oil or olive oil. I always have some healthy fats. I'm always drizzling a lot of it too. Fiber is the 4th macronutrient. It's technically a type of carbohydrate. So fiber helps to detox excess hormones, because if you're holding on to waste in your gut, you're recirculating excess estrogen back into your bloodstream. And that's what causes that estrogen dominance that leads to fibroid growth. It leads to acne and other conditions. Fiber improves insulin resistance, it reduces inflammation, and supports your vaginal microbiome indirectly. So fiber comes from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and other things that have fiber fortified into them. So fiber is really important. So all your meals should have protein, a fibrous carbohydrate, and a healthy fat. The tip that I always tell all of my clients: eat your protein and your healthy fats first. If your healthy fats are actual food like an avocado or fatty fish, and eat the carbohydrates last. I had a client who her diabetes was out of control. She's around 72 years old. And she implemented that one tip, and her blood sugar numbers decreased significantly so fast. And she was actually really, really shocked, because she never thought she can get her blood sugar down. And I taught her that trick. And ever since then, when she goes out to eat, she has a salad first. She eats everything except the carbs first, and eats the carbohydrates last. So try eating the carbohydrates last. It's going to help significantly with balancing your blood sugar. Also, drinking a cup of water with apple cider vinegar before your meals can help to reduce your blood sugar, as well as reducing that insulin resistance, reversing it actually, and lowering your A1C. So in the morning, I have a cup of warm lemon water with ginger and mint. And then before my other meals during the day, I would have a cup of warm ACV water beforehand to help with that. Also, when it comes to PCOS and having those sugar cravings, I forgot to mention, the reason why you have sugar cravings when you have PCOS and insulin resistance is because your blood sugar likes to be stable. When your blood sugar is constantly crashing and spiking, this is what leads to having those really strong cravings for sugar and carbohydrate foods, like those starchy foods, because when your blood sugar crashes, naturally it has to get its way back up. So it makes you crave those foods for it to go back up. But then you eat the wrong kind of foods. You eat the simple carbohydrates, the ones that are digested really fast, candy, pastries, bread, juice, things like that. And so your blood sugar then spikes really high again and then crashes once again, because once it spikes, it has to crash. Once it crashes, it has to spike. So in order to stabilize this blood sugar, you have to eat every few hours, so every 3 to 4 hours. All your meals have to have the protein, the fibrous carb, the healthy fats, supporting your blood sugar stability by having some apple cider vinegar within your water before your meals. This looks like a teaspoon and like 8 ounces of warm water. Also avoiding caffeine on an empty stomach, and eating breakfast within the first hour waking up, because otherwise when you have those blood sugar highs and lows, that's what also leads to you having that midday fatigue where you're so exhausted in the middle of the day for literally no reason. And when you do end up having the simple carbohydrates, like let's say you're at a party and you have like pizza or there's cake and there's cookies and all those things, try to either have a healthy fat and a protein source with it, or eat it beforehand or bring it with you. So for example, with cake, maybe have a glass of milk. A glass of milk has 8 grams of protein. Maybe have some nuts and seeds on the side or some nut butter, whatever. Try to always, when you can, pair your carbohydrates, the simple carbs, with protein and healthy fats. Maybe carry a shot of apple cider vinegar with you to put in your drink at that party. So you can drink that throughout the party to help with your blood sugar. There's many ways around it, but those are just a few tips. Even eating before the party as well. When it comes to supplementation for PCOS, and before I even get into this, everything in this video is just education. This is not medical advice. Always see a PCOS dietitian or an endocrinologist or a doctor for if you need to ask about supplements or what to do. But my personal recommendation is to always see a PCOS dietitian, because they literally teach you how to heal PCOS, how to eat for PCOS. So I like PCOS weight loss. She's a good page, PCOS with Courtney, I think is her name. Just type in PCOS dietitian on any social media platform and you'll find a bunch of them, trust me. So the number one most important, most studied supplement for PCOS is inositol. Inositol is basically a nutrient that's considered to be vitamin B8, and it helps with improving insulin resistance. It helps with decreasing your waist circumference. It helps with improving your egg quality, regulating your periods, promoting ovulation. It helps with reducing your sugar cravings. And it, like I said before, it also reduces it improves ovulation, it reduces androgens, and it's also the number one best alternative to metformin. There's actually a study that shows that metformin can be replaced with inositol, and inositol can be used in replacement of metformin because it has the same exact functionalities, but inositol is natural. Metformin is a man-made medication. Metformin over time can actually cause issues with your liver. It can deplete your B vitamins, and it can also cause high cholesterol. That's why I always tell women who are on metformin, ask your doctor when you're getting off, and ask your doctor about switching to inositol and show him the research study. I will link the study down below, but you can show your doctor this so they can see that you can actually replace metformin with inositol. With inositol, you want to choose one that has myo-inositol and D-chiro, and it has to have that 40-to-1 ratio. So 2 brands I recommend is Ovasitol and Wholesome Story. But I more so go with Wholesome Story because it's way more affordable than Ovasitol, and they both are the same thing, doing the same function, and they're both third-party tested. How you would take inositol is first thing in the morning and last thing at night, and you can mix it into anything as a powder, or you can take the pills, but it's really easy to use it as the powder because it has no taste. And so this is going to help significantly with insulin sensitivity, reducing your insulin resistance, improving your ovulation, your egg quality, reducing androgens, and also reducing and balancing out your blood sugar. Number 2, berberine. So berberine is actually known as like nature's Ozempic because it really helps significantly with weight loss. It's an herb that you can take in a supplement form. Not only does it help with weight loss, it helps significantly with reducing high cholesterol levels. Typically, when you have insulin resistance, you will also have high cholesterol because insulin resistance impacts cholesterol metabolism. So berberine is a natural insulin regulator. It's antimicrobial for the gut, so it's known to also help for cleaning out parasites, and it also reduces inflammation, but you have to avoid if pregnant. And also used with a doctor's guidance or a dietitian's guidance, whatever. Typically for my clients, I recommend 500 milligrams with each meal, but sometimes berberine can cause GI upset if you're not used to it, if you're taking too much. So always work with someone who can help you with that. 3, curcumin. So curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric that makes it anti-inflammatory. Again, it's a really powerful anti-inflammatory, so it reduces inflammation. It supports your liver detoxification hormones. It helps with any pain in the body, so period pain, headaches, joint pain, any of those pains. It helps with that because it's a really powerful anti-inflammatory. I recommend 3 ways that women can consume turmeric on a daily basis. Number 1, a curcumin supplement. Make sure that it's third-party tested and that it has bioperine. Bioperine is black pepper, and black pepper helps with the absorption of turmeric. So have a supplement that has curcumin with bioperine. You can either do that. You can do a ginger turmeric shot every single day by juicing ginger and fresh turmeric and creating those a glass of it and taking a shot once or twice a day. You can also use ginger powder or turmeric powder and do this every day, but make sure that you're adding the black pepper to that. Or you can consume golden milk every single day. Golden milk is an Indian milk tea latte that involves you using a milk, you adding in a teaspoon of turmeric, and then you also add other spices like cinnamon, which cinnamon is a great herb for insulin resistance. PCOS weight loss dietitian actually posted on her page once that 1 teaspoon of cinnamon a day can actually act as a natural GLP-1. So adding maybe a teaspoon of cinnamon into that golden milk, a teaspoon of turmeric, maybe adding some cloves, some cardamom, some nutmeg, some other some spices, ginger, whatever. You add it into milk. If you want to know the best forms of milk, I believe for women's health is either 1, grass-fed organic whole milk for that retinol, 2, soy milk, organic soy milk. So Key West is a good brand for organic soy milk because soy milk has phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens help your body when it has estrogen imbalance because it helps with mimicking estrogen, so that brings it back up to normal limits. And then 3, full fat coconut milk, because this is really great for supporting your hormone health because of all of those healthy fats in the coconut milk. So I believe those 3 milks are great for women's health. You choose whatever resonates with you. If you don't like dairy, I would go for the organic soy milk or the full fat organic coconut milk. Make sure that these milks are organic because you don't want a bunch of excess random additives and fillers and all those things. So you can choose any of those milks. If you do choose the soy milk or the grass-fed organic whole milk, you need to add a healthy fat to the golden latte. That's what makes it a part of the golden milk latte. So they usually would add like a little bit of grass-fed organic ghee butter, or maybe like a little bit of organic coconut oil in there because it's supposed to have a healthy fat in there. So this drink is a great drink to have every single day for your hormone health, for anti-inflammatory benefits, and for some healthy fats. If you use the full fat coconut milk, you don't have to really add extra fats because the full fat coconut milk in itself has a lot of healthy fats in it already. And coconut milk and coconut oil in general does have a high amount of saturated fat, but there are studies that have been showing that a little bit of saturated fat is needed to support women's hormones, which is not a lot of fat. Because saturated fat is what leads to high cholesterol. It's not high cholesterol that causes, high cholesterol foods that causes high cholesterol. It's saturated fat. So that whole myth of eating cholesterol foods like shrimp and eggs causes high cholesterol, that's all BS. It's been debunked years ago, and some doctors still don't even realize that, but it's not cholesterol foods that cause high cholesterol, it's saturated fat. So you have to be really mindful of your saturated fat consumption. So those are the 3 ways you can have curcumin daily, either in a pill form, as a shot, or as a tea every single day. And of course, they also have liquid curcumin as well. So up to you. And of course, you can also have sprinkled turmeric into as many of your meals as possible. That's completely up to your own discretion. The 4th supplement for PCOS that's important is omega-3s, because omega-3s reduces inflammation, improves insulin resistance, and it supports hormones in your skin. And I also learned that women with PCOS don't metabolize omega-3s properly. So having it in supplement form is going to be really, really important for you. That's why you also have to eat your healthy fats. 4, CoQ10. So CoQ10 also really supports heart health, but it also improves your egg quality, it boosts your energy, and also reduces inflammation. So it really helps if you're trying to get pregnant. And it also helps to bring down what's called your CRP marker. Your CRP is the lab marker that tests for inflammation. So CoQ10 can directly help with lowering that. Vitamin D3, especially if you're deficient, is huge for hormonal balance, supports ovulation and immune and inflammation support. So Black people and people of color typically will need more D3 because our melanin blocks the absorption of UVB rays from the sun that helps to produce vitamin D3 in the body. That's why Black people will typically have higher levels of vitamin D deficiency. So they'll typically need more, like around like 4,000 to 5,000 IUs, but work with a doctor with this because high amounts of vitamin D can actually block liver retinol, which can then cause you to have acne and some other liver health issues. So work with a doctor when it comes to any of these supplements at all. Then you also have magnesium. So PCOS is correlated with anxiety, stress, and depression. Magnesium can help with reducing acne, reducing anxiety, helping improve your sleep quality, reducing cortisol levels, and also supporting insulin sensitivity. You can get a magnesium complex or magnesium glycinate. There's different forms of magnesium. There's a lot, so do your research. And then lastly, if you deal with high androgens like high testosterone, you have that facial hair and cystic acne, spearmint tea is going to be your best friend. Spearmint tea directly acts as spironolactone. When it comes to reducing acne, so spironolactone is a diuretic that's known to be prescribed to help reduce acne, but it's a diuretic, meaning that it dehydrates you. So it's really important that you're not using it for a long period of time. And you're actually not supposed to be on it for more than like 1 to 2 years because it can then impact your kidneys in the long run. And I've seen doctors with my clients keep their patients on spironolactone for years, and because I mentioned it to them, they asked their doctor, and the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, we can take you off of that now." After like 5 years of being on spironolactone, that's like really dangerous for your kidneys. But some doctors just neglect it and act as if it's not a big deal, but it really is a big deal. So if you've been on spironolactone for more than 1 to 2 years, you want to ask your doctor what's the plan for getting off of this, because it's not meant to be a long-term thing, especially for acne. And with this, you can literally replace spironolactone with spearmint tea 3 times a day. So that looks like a 24-ounce dose of spearmint tea every single day, because it reduces androgens, which then causes that cystic acne and the excessive hair growth that's called hirsutism. So make sure it's an organic spearmint tea. It's third-party tested, and it's just a great way to really naturally reduce the androgens and the acne. And then lastly, your electrolytes and hydration is going to be really, really important. Women with PCOS typically have more levels of dehydration, which can worsen cortisol and worsen your cravings. So you want to be drinking at least half your body weight in fluid ounces. You can get this from coconut water, bone broth, water-rich fruits and vegetables, cold-pressed juices or homemade juices, and just water with electrolytes, so water that has lemons and a pinch of sea salt, or using electrolyte drops that have no added sugar, like trace minerals, for example. Electrolytes fuel your cells and they nourish your cells so that they can work properly, so that your metabolism can function, your brain can function, your body can function. So it's really, really, really important that you are prioritizing liquids with electrolytes. Now, when it comes to sleep, PCOS requires deep sleep for healing, because when you're sleeping, your body's in what's called the parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest nervous system. When we're in this state, the more we're able to heal. That's why it's harder for the body to heal when you're in chronic survival mode, fight or flight mode. You're always stressed, anxious, worried, paranoid, living a life where you don't feel safe in your body. That's what can cause PCOS. So sleeping is really important, because poor sleep can lead to insulin resistance, which can lead to weight gain, acne, cravings, and high cortisol. So some tips for sleeping: having a completely dark room or using an eye mask. Cool temperatures, magnesium glycinate is really helpful. Foods that are high in melatonin, not taking actual melatonin. Melatonin is a natural hormone that we produce, and when we take it through supplementation, it can decrease how much melatonin you naturally produce. But there's melatonin in foods like tart cherry juice, eggs, oats, bananas. So maybe having some tart cherry juice at nighttime and mixing it with a magnesium glycinate powder as like a nighttime mocktail to help you fall asleep. Also decreasing your blue light exposure 1 hour before bed. So this can look like wearing blue light glasses, keeping the lights in your house down, no TV, no phones 1 hour before bed, whatever you want to do. But decreasing blue light exposure before bed can significantly reduce cortisol levels and also help to improve your sleep quality. And if your room, one way to test if your room is dark enough is to hold up your hand in the dark. If you can still hold your hand, if you can still see your hand in the dark, your room is likely not dark enough. So use an eye mask or whatever you have to do. Now, when it comes to exercise, a lot of women make the mistake of doing a lot of intense cardio or doing a HIIT or doing a whole bunch of crazy things, but this can actually make PCOS 10 times worse for you, because these intense exercises can spike your cortisol significantly. So better options for women with PCOS is strength training at least 3 times a week, walking a lot, so getting anywhere from 7K to 10K steps a day, Pilates or low impact workouts like yoga and all those things, This helps women with PCOS to lose weight way better than doing HIIT workouts and cardio workouts, because those really can spike your cortisol levels, and doing slow weighted strength training. So not anything fast, but doing everything slow and at a normal speed. And the benefits of these workouts is, one, it increases insulin sensitivity, it balances your hormones, and also reduces inflammation. So keep that in mind for exercise, but that's going to be really, really, really important for you to incorporate with PCOS. The more you can move your body, the better. So let's say you do daily walks, maybe you do a daily at-home yoga video, a daily at-home Pilates video, whatever helps and whatever works best for you. Then we have stress management and nervous system regulation, because PCOS is highly sensitive to stress and can actually be a result of long-term stress, because high cortisol equals high androgens equals worsened symptoms. So different ways to regulate your nervous system is, one, through breath work. So maybe doing some breath work classes, breath work meditation, or seeing a breath work practitioner, doing some more grounding practices, meditation, having gentle, more slower mornings. If your mornings are rushed and chaotic, that is worsening your PCOS. Choosing safe partners, of course, and releasing survival mode. So this looks like stabilizing your root chakra. So if you were in survival mode, like you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're always worried about the future, always planning things, and you feel like you're never ahead, and you feel like you're just living to survive, you need to stabilize your root chakra. And you can work with a Reiki healer for this, or someone who's more of a professional in this. But a root chakra stabilization looks like you stabilizing your finances, your home, like those things that bring you that sense of security and safety. That can make a really big difference, because your nervous system affects your hormones more than most women realize. So practice nervous system regulation daily if you're an anxious person, a stressed person, or you're living in fight or flight and survival mode all the time. Now, when it comes to what labs to check for when it comes to PCOS, number 1, your fasting insulin. 2, your glucose and your A1C. 3, your testosterone free and total. 4, your DHEA-S. 5, your LH and FSH ratio. 6, SHBG. 7, your thyroid panel. 8, your vitamin D. 9, your ferritin, because PCOS and low iron often coexist. A lipid panel, which tests for your triglycerides, your cholesterol levels, and CRP, which tests for inflammation. So when it comes to these labs, I would ask your GYN and also your doctor. They can give you a combination of these labs, and do your research on what these labs test for. I don't want to make this video too long, I'm already hitting the 40-minute mark. So do the research on your own as to what to look for in the criteria for these labs. You can use ChatGPT or just use Google to figure it out. And now, who to see for PCOS? So a women's health dietitian like myself. There are ways to work with me down below in my bio. And there's also, if you go on any social media platform and type in PCOS dietitian, a lot are going to pop up. You can also use companies that take health insurance, like Nourish, Berry Street, Dietitian Live. These are all companies that do at-home telehealth dietitian appointments that take major insurance companies like Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, Cigna, all those companies. So see a women's health dietitian like myself or anyone else that you find on the internet. An endocrinologist, because this is an endocrine doctor, so they help you with your hormones. But just be mindful of the fact that doctors are always going to lean more towards medication, because that's what they're trained in. If you want a more holistic, natural approach, see a dietitian, or maybe even a functional medicine doctor, a functional medicine provider. They also do have functional medicine dietitians as well. So keep that in mind, or like a naturopathic doctor, even maybe a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and an OBGYN. But just remember, OBGYNs and doctors, they usually treat symptoms with medications. They don't usually treat these diseases with nutrition, because they're not trained in that. Nutrition heals the root cause. Medications just are band-aid solutions. And speaking of medications, why birth control is a band-aid solution for PCOS is because it suppresses ovulation and it masks your symptoms. So birth control does not heal PCOS, it just stops your symptoms. But it does not heal insulin resistance, it does not reduce inflammation, it actually can worsen nutrient deficiencies, and it can actually worsen hormonal imbalances after stopping. That's why a lot of women with who are on birth control end up developing PCOS afterwards, because of that hormonal imbalance it can cause when you get off of it. So birth control doesn't fix PCOS, it just hides it. So that's why I always preach to women, try to heal your body naturally without birth control, because otherwise the birth control is just masking your symptoms and you're going about your life like living freely while your internal body is going through like chaos, inflammation, insulin resistance, and stress, because the birth control is just a band-aid solution. Trust me, I understand how it feels to have really painful periods and heavy bleeding. I was literally in the hospital 2 months ago because of this, but mine was related to iron deficiency anemia, which caused me to have uterine hypoxia, which basically means that my iron was so low, it was at a 5, that it caused my period cramps to feel like labor contractions. I have a whole entire iron deficiency anemia education series on this channel. You can go to that playlist. I also have an ebook called The Ultimate Iron Deficiency Healing Guide that teaches you everything you need to know about the iron recycling system, how to heal your iron levels naturally, different kinds of anemia, how to heal your anemia through certain foods, and using the right cofactors that help to move iron in and out of your body. So that whole ebook goes over every single thing you need to know to heal your iron deficiency anemia. Because if supplements are not working for you, that means that your iron recycling system is most likely malfunctioning or it's broken. So you have to fix it naturally, and that involves nutrition and lifestyle changes. So that's why I was in the hospital with a bad cramp. So I know how bad cramps feel like, trust me. But if you want to heal your body in the long run, you have to do this in a natural way, because medications are not natural. It's meant to just mask the symptoms. Second to last, but for some women, they actually see benefits of reducing and reversing their PCOS by going dairy-free and gluten-free. So some dietitians are with this, some are against it. PCOS weight loss promotes dairy-free, gluten-free for helping to manage your PCOS. Other dietitians believe that you don't need to go dairy-free, gluten-free. You can get a GI map test to see if you're sensitive towards gluten, or if dairy maybe causes you inflammation, but you have to do some functional tests for that. So I would see a functional medicine doctor or a dietitian. My friend Joanna is a functional medicine dietitian. If you want her contact, comment down below so I can tag her. But yeah, so some people preach about dairy and gluten-free. I personally don't believe that you have to go dairy and gluten-free. So I still do eat dairy and gluten, but right now I'm on a 21-day dairy-free challenge. So it can help some women, but dairy can increase acne and inflammation for some women. Gluten can worsen inflammation and bloating in some women. Not everyone needs to eliminate them, and you can try just eliminating it for 2 to 4 weeks to see how your body responds. If it responds well, then you can continue eliminating it. If you have to eliminate it, you need to work with a dietitian, because when you eliminate these things, you're also eliminating other nutrients that come with gluten and iron and dairy, such as calcium or B vitamins or other nutrients that are typically fortified in dairy and gluten foods. And lastly, PCOS is not your identity, it's a condition. And conditions can improve and heal when you learn how to understand your body and to listen to your body and to not mask these symptoms with medications and other things. So when it comes to healing your body, it's a matter of slowing down, finding safety in your body, tapping into your intuition, your feminine energy, and also learning how to trust your body and just really listen to your body and what it needs, what it's telling you that it likes, what's telling you that it does not like. If you notice that when you have dairy, you feel really inflamed, stop eating dairy. Like, these are the things that you have to listen to when it comes to healing your body. But working with a dietitian is going to be really, really, really important to help you with this, or a functional medicine practitioner, anyone that can run labs for you and basically help you to heal this from the root cause. So that's pretty much how you would heal PCOS. Literally, that's basically almost everything you need to know to heal PCOS, or to get you at least a jump start on where to start with healing PCOS. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them down below. I'm going to link the study for metformin down below, as well as the results of that girl who reversed her PCOS and had her ultrasound showed that she healed herself. Otherwise, if I mention something and you want to know what it is, comment down below and let me know so I can put it in the description. But otherwise, I hope this video helped you all. I hope I intend that it helped you. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.